You are listening to Basement Chronicles with Lisa Dublin, episode number 11. Be willing to take risks and be spontaneous this year. Hey, you made it! Welcome to my basement. I'm Lisa Dublin, a health and life coach, and I help professional and executive women to live, lead, and speak with confidence. Because you know what? Developing your confidence and deepening your faith in God is the best formula for an amazing life. So, are you ready? Let's go. Hey, how are you doing, awesome humans? I wrote this podcast at the Pearson International Airport in Toronto. And the fact that I was there en route back home to Edmonton was precisely because I took a risk, because I said yes to an offer on the spur of the moment without knowing all the details. And thankfully, it turned out right. So today I want to tell you more about that story and to inspire you ultimately to do the same thing and to step out, to take a risk, be spontaneous, do something unexpected this year. Say yes to an opportunity even though you don't have all the details. I want to encourage you in 2024 to seize the day and to seize every moment. Let's get into the story. So about a week ago, I was invited by the St. Lucia Tourism Organization to perform at the launch of the St. Lucia Jazz Festival. You guys, this is a big deal. The St. Lucia Jazz Festival has been in existence since 1992 and it has garnered such an international reputation. It was rebranded to the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, I think in 2013. And since then, poetry and all of the arts have been a very significant part of this festival. And so they invited me to perform at the launch of this festival, which will happen later this year, 2024. It is such a big deal that I couldn't say no. It would entail quite a bit of stress because when you do a performance poetry piece, you literally have to be in the zone for several days before. And me with my busy schedule, having a family, the business, the everything, I was like, can I make this happen? I was like, yes, I can. Let me seize the opportunity. This doesn't happen very often. Take it and run with it. And that's exactly what I did. It entailed a lot of preparation from getting the clothes to arranging even to have my makeup artist meet me at the venue on the day. And let's not even talk about the travel. Getting from Edmonton, flying to Miami, then arriving in St. Lucia on the day of the event. And then being whisked via helicopter, you guys, I kid you not. Oh my goodness. Via helicopter from the south of the island to the north and then via police escort up through the streets of Castries to the venue and then to do the performance. Yes, I was tired. Yes, it was a lot of hassle. Yes, there was a lot of uncertainty. There was a time, I think, the weekend before when this was dead in the water. I heard nothing and just a roller coaster of emotions. And oh my goodness, it was quite a ride. But I was very happy that I said yes to a spontaneous opportunity, an unexpected opportunity, and it paid out. And so today I want to talk about that process. And perhaps to leave with you a couple tips on, yes, to be spontaneous, but how to try to make it the best decision ever, finally. Let's first talk about making a decision and making it right. The minute I decided I was going, I just had to jump into action. Like there wasn't any other way. If you commit to something unexpected, an opportunity that you can't afford to lose, then by all means just jump all in. So that entailed me like having to push back my appointments, my coaching clients and rearrange things that way. I had to do stuff with my children. My husband had to, thankfully, he's such a sport. He had to rearrange work so he could be the one to pick up and drop off the kids for that entire week that I would be gone. Then there was wardrobe. There was just all of the logistics back and forth with the tourism officials to make this happen. You guys, that was just half of it. You know what the other half was? The more important part that nobody saw but was expected of me was to interface and engage with my art in such a way that I could present it on that evening and do a good job. Nobody would tell you that. As an artist, every artist knows that. Every artist knows that half of your work is being quiet and finding the quiet time away from the logistics and administrative stuff and the calls and interruptions to really just dialogue and deeply get into the work that you're going to present to the world. Of course, bigger people have others taking care of all of the logistics. I didn't have, and I don't have that kind of support, at least not yet. And so what I had to do was what I always do. There goes faith, fitness, fire. Finding that time before the day began for that entire week to do the work and to recite the poem, to perform it for myself, for my mirror, and just to learn it the way that I was supposed to. And I did it because I had committed. So that is one of the first lessons. When you make a decision, just make it right. And I wish that was my saying, but I think I learned that from Eric Thomas and his team when they were talking about it's not even a matter of whether the decision you make is the right one. Once you do make a decision, go all out to make it the right decision. And so I think on that evening, even though I was tired, every artist knows that the adrenaline just keeps on pumping until you're done. And I wasn't very satisfied with my first poem, but I definitely redeemed myself with the second one. I performed my signature piece at this point to all the girls, and it went down very well. I was not aware at the time of accepting the invitation to perform at the launch of the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. I was not aware that this was such a big deal, okay? This was broadcast everywhere. This was streamed live. Oh my goodness. The response from people I didn't even know was just overwhelming. And I said to myself, if I had said no, it would have been too much of a hassle. No, I didn't hear from you guys for a couple days, so this is dead in the water. I'm not going to crank myself up again. No, I don't think I can get it together. Who's going to take care of the kids? If I hadn't even tried to make it happen by saying yes, then I would not have enjoyed the benefits of such an experience. This is the year to step out, you guys. This is the year to be spontaneous. Once you make up your mind to take up every opportunity that comes your way, you kind of fall into a process of just making it happen. And you know what? On that night, in spite of being tired, everything came together, spirit, soul, and body. I also saw the benefit of just being in a state of readiness, of taking care of myself physically, of taking care of my spirit and my mind, my soul, that kind of thing, spending time with God, being at peace with myself. Because throughout the entire process, even though it was stressful, I had joy, I had peace. I just kind of figured it would all come together, and it did. So you just have to be ready, especially if you are a big dreamer. If you want to go far, you can never tell when the right opportunity is going to come along. So from your body to your soul to your spirit, you just simply have to stay in a state of readiness. There are a couple other lessons that I took from that awesome experience of performing at the launch of the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. I realized the benefit of just continuing to dream big dreams and to seed those dreams by putting them into confessions. I do something very often, maybe if not daily, maybe every other day or so, but as often as I can, I do have a set of confessions that I say that represent my dreams for myself and for my family. And there is manifestation that happens even at a spiritual level, even at a Christian level, which is where I am at. I'm not talking about New Age anything. I'm talking about using words to seed your life, because words have power. And now I'm seeing a lot of the things that I keep on confessing and saying that I am this, I am that, I see them coming to pass. And I want to encourage you to do that childlike thing of saying, writing out your confessions of who you want to be, what you want to do, where do you want to go, how do you want to live life, and making it a habit to say those confessions every so often. They kind of make it happen in your mind and heart first, and then it manifests in your life. So that was the first lesson. Keep on dreaming and keep on confessing those dreams. Here's another very practical lesson. it is way easier to be spontaneous and to take a risk in this day and age? Yes, it is. You can learn to harness technology, to do your bidding, to keep your life, your business, your family running. If you have to leave, if you have to go out on the spur of a moment, you can still keep your life together because of technology. So I'm talking about stuff like online banking, good old WhatsApp, Zoom scheduling of social media posts. All of that went on. I published a podcast while I was gone. Like there was no loss of much because I was away. So you don't have to lose or risk it all to take a risk. Let's put it that way. Now, the next thing is being spontaneous does not mean you have to go into the opportunity without any kind of preparation. If I say yes to an opportunity, I've got to count the cost, no matter how spur of the moment it is, no matter how I decide to do it on short shrift, on short notice. Once I make that decision, I then have a responsibility to prepare as thoroughly as I can with what I have and at the time that is allotted to me. So you have to get administrative with your decision, especially if you are just starting out and seizing the opportunity means that you alone need to make things happen. You just simply need to write down everything that needs to be done and get it done. Also, especially for the artists, for people in the performing arts, there has to be a separation between preparing yourself artistically, which is the work that is done away from everybody, and also doing the administrative stuff to get your act together. So call the right people, get help, get the logistics right, keep communication lines open, give people the benefit of the doubt, be peaceful and polite. All of those things came into play while I was arranging this trip and liaising with those people who had graciously invited me to perform. Now, this next point might sound like a contradiction. You know how I said, make a decision and make it right. The making it right doesn't always mean that it will turn out right every single time. The making it right is following through with what you said you're going to do. But obviously, the result sometimes is not up to you. And you have to be okay with that. It might not turn out as expected when you employ the power of spontaneity of getting up and going and not knowing where it's going to end up. It mightn't always end up to your benefit or how you expected. But when you become a person who is not afraid to take a risk, you set yourself up for two things, right? You set yourself up for mind-blowing, awesome success, or you also set yourself up for cringeworthy failure. Underlying both of those things, however, is the brave action of taking a step, taking a risk, being spontaneous. And that is what we need to focus upon, that ability that is developed in being spontaneous, in taking a risk. You just build your confidence. You build your can-do attitude that even though it mightn't turn out right, I know the process of stepping out and not being afraid or stepping out being afraid but doing it anyway. That counts for a lot later. And at some point, believe you me, it is going to work out for you. I love this quote by T.S. Eliot. It says, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." I just absolutely loved that quote because taking that risk and being spontaneous with saying yes to that opportunity, it opened up more opportunities for me. It exposed me to things that I hadn't done before, like going in a helicopter ride for the first time. I mean, it was just amazing to have been exposed to these experiences. I would not have been exposed to them if I hadn't said yes to the initial offer in the first place. That decision definitely paid off, and just performing again before an audience just rekindled my faith in the direction that I'm taking in my business and my life, and is encouraging me to stay on that path. So I hope this inspires you to be spontaneous this year. Let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for listening to Basement Chronicles today, and join me next week for another episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. Now, I know that you prioritize your growth and success. So if you feel stuck in any area of your life, why don't you consider life coaching? My signature program, How to Get Unstuck Total Transformation, has helped so many professional and executive women to free themselves of limiting beliefs and habits, learn to love and prioritize themselves, set firm boundaries and stick to them, be more confident, move up exponentially in their careers, and become the best versions of themselves. How badly do you want to get unstuck? How badly do you want to be the best version of you? If you desire more, take the first step right now. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com/coaching, and book a consultation with me. Let's talk about your coaching needs, because the life you want is totally possible.